welcome to #spina bifida. I know a lot of you go in and out of the hospital like I do, and you get a lot of procedures done, and one of those may be a PICC line. I've only had a PICC line once in my life. It was when I was 10 years old, and I got a PICC line put in to administer antibiotics quicker into my body to heal an infection that I had in my back. Now, PICC lines can be in different areas of your body, but where I got mine was in my right arm in the middle. I don't think if I show on camera, you really won't see the scar. It's very small, but oh my God, that PICC line hurt. There's already a content warning in everything I wrote around this video, but I want to say it again before I continue. I'm gonna talk a little bit graphic of how I got my PICC line put in, so if that's something you don't want to listen to, just click off now. So we all know I'm afraid of needles. I get panic attacks. I'm a little bit better right now, but when I was a kid, it was a lot worse. Arnold Palmer Hospital was the hospital I used to go to all the time as a kid, so they knew me pretty well. They knew the routine. And the first thing they did in my room was give me a liquid medicine that wouldn't knock me out, but it was supposed to make me very loopy. That didn't work at all, mainly because I was already having a panic attack when they gave me that medicine. So the adrenaline just kicked that medicine to the curb. So I felt everything that was going on. Now, they first tried putting the PICC line in my left arm. They numbed the area. When they put a PICC line in your arm, they have to get the tubing to your heart. So there is a wire in the tubing where they can feed it up the vein they choose, and it's supposed to get close to your heart, or at least like in your chest cavity. They just said heart to me as a kid when they explained it. So as they were starting to feed the tube up my vein collapsed, and they had to take everything out. My vein collapsed because of my panic attack. So we tried really hard to calm me down, which I did my best. So they did my right arm, went perfectly, they taped it up, and then after it was done, I passed out from the medicine I was given earlier. So in the hospital, I would get my antibiotics, it would be in a bag, and I would just go through my day. When I was discharged, I still had the PICC line because I still needed my antibiotics. And instead of a bag, we were given these like balls that were filled with the antibiotics, and it would slowly administer it to me by collapsing on itself, which was cool, but also annoying because I had to take antibiotics very odd times. And I remember my dad would wake me up very early for my medicine. And to make it fun, he would be like, oh, today on the menu we have roast beef, as if the antibiotics ball was like little Spy Kid meals or something. So I had the PICC line in for a few weeks until my infection healed, and then it came time to take it out. It just felt like pressure being released. So that was my PICC line experience. If you've ever had a PICC line before, what was the experience like for you? And that's it for #spina bifida. Thank you for watching. If you like my work and want to help support me, you can always pledge to my Patreon. It's a subscription service where you get rewards from me for pledging. Or you can do a one-time donation to my PayPal. All of this is optional, but I would really appreciate the help. And until next time, bye.
Y'all know as soon as the music stops, I'ma yap. Now look, my experience with PICC lines is really nothing like hers. My first PICC line, I had to be like 20 or 21, and I got my first one right here. I can still see the scar, but if I showed y'all wouldn't be able to see it. But it was over in here. Then I got my second PICC line over in here. And the reason why they did my second one over there is because I told them I'm left-handed. But I do everything with my right hand except for right. I write with my left hand. So my experiences with my PICC line it was smooth, man. I don't have a fear or an anxiety to needles. So I didn't have to go through what she went through to get the PICC line. Now, I have taken that medicine that she talking about, the one that make you loopy. I was having a surgery. I think I was getting circumcised, and they gave me that medicine, and they knocked me out like that. This was almost 4 years ago. This was like 3 years ago and some change. And yeah, I took the medicine and knocked me out like that, man. That was the fastest medicine I've ever had in my life. I remember when I took it, I started laughing and giggling, and then I got dizzy. And next thing you know, I was waking up. You know, I was waking up and people was telling me I kept laughing before I finally got knocked out. I don't know how long it took me to get knocked out from the medicine, but it felt like instantly. It felt like 45 seconds. But my experiences with PICC lines, I had a good experience. You know, I wasn't scared. It didn't hurt. It was better than being hooked up to an IV all day. You know how when you go to the hospital, they hook you up to the IV all day and you don't get disconnected at all. Now, that pressure that she was talking about, I definitely felt that pressure, but it was no pain. But I definitely remember that pressure like it was yesterday. And this happened to me, like I said, 6, 7 years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I still remember that pressure feeling. I didn't know something so thin could apply so much pressure. But my experiences with PICC lines were great, man. I honestly can say that was the least of my worries throughout my spinal bifida journeys. That was probably one of the least of my worries. As far as like surgery involved or medicine or antibiotics, because I had an infection in my heel because I had a ulcer. I actually had an ulcer in both my heels, but I forgot which heel it was. I don't know if it was my left heel on my foot or the right heel on my foot. But yeah, that's my experiences with PICC lines. Let me know y'all experiences with PICC lines. Leave them in the comments or make a response video tomorrow.